Hello there. My name is Ted Lee, and I am VE7LEE or VE7LE. The topic is APRS in the Vancouver area. So the agenda today is what is APRS, what devices are used in APRS, where does all the data goes, and how is the data presented. What is APRS all about? As Bob says, the guy who discovered APRS, WB4APR, he says it's humans communicating info with humans. So there it is, what you can do with it. It gives out positions, which most people do, the status, you can send messages, weather information, all sorts of things. Typical applications there are routine awareness of all amateur events nearby you, search and rescue, marathon races, stuff like that. So, I don't know if this is up to date, but approximately there's 60,000 users worldwide. There's relays, stations called digipeaters in the city every few tens of kilometers away, but out in the wilderness or throughout British Columbia, 30 to 80 approximately. They're all linked together with amateurs having eye gates in their location and global links by amateur satellites and thousands of weather. We'll show you later on in the map of Vancouver. But only, few hams, only 2% of local hams use it. So here's a little more technical definition. It uses a single frequency. Everything's on one frequency. Uses amateur packet AX25 at a baud rate of 1200 baud. That's kind of slow, but it serves a purpose, and can be done over HF using 300 baud or satellite links faster, probably 9600 baud rate. So here it is in pictures. It stands for Automated Packet Reporting System, and it's not just vehicle traffic tracking, even though 80 to 90% of users do use it for that. So, what hardware do we need? One, you gotta have someone producing the signal. Those are called trackers. You gotta have a tracker in your vehicle. I do. Mine is called VE7LEE-9 in my truck. It could be in your handheld radio. Mine is VE7LE-7, or it could be your cell phone. And then what you need to repeat the signal is digipeaters. Those can be intelligent or dumb devices. They pick up and retransmit the signal. You gotta have at least one internet gateway to put the signal on the internet. And you can have combinations of fixed and mobile stations. And you don't even need an amateur station at all license if you're going to have a passive. It can be a receive-only eye gate. That all it does is receive. So you can put those anywhere, as long as it's got the internet, of course. So here's an example of the old Dayton. I was there myself in 2015, and I'm going to show you later on my trip to Dayton via APRS. So, to get it at home, you're going to have various stations. I use at home, I run an iGate, a transmitting iGate in digipeater, and I have a TNC Pi plugged into the Raspberry Pi, and I go through a VHF transceiver. You can have different methods there, has displayed. So trackers should be two-way, but not necessarily. Like I say, the one in my mobile is one way. You could have it in your cell phone if you wanted to. And that by having the app, that does not transmit RF. Instead, it sends it, well, it does transmit over the cellular bands. It sends data through its internet connection. So in one way, it does not tie up the RF bands. So there's an example of one, some trackers there, little ones. Oh, there's one in, let me pull out my Yaesu. There's a Yaesu early version. Here's mine, FT1D, and it's got GPS receiver up there, built in, which is nice. I also have an icon, but it's an accessory you got to buy built into the microphone. So I can transmit my APRS signal and receive APRS, and it gives me a little map and tells me the distance, how far stations are away, or how fast they're traveling on my little handheld radio through a little screen. So you can have it in different devices. So you put it on, as Bob says, WB4 APR, you can have it on any radio. Just an accessory, you can add it on. Some of them have it built in, like on the ICOM IC2820D Star, which is an earlier mobile radio. Still quite popular, still sold today. It does it via D-Star. D-Star supports, and also DMR supports APRS. But you got to be transmitting that mode. It does not use the standard analog APRS frequency. It uses instead a digital one. So these are some devices. You're going to have computers, laptops, cell phones, software programs like WingLink and EchoLink, sending APRS information in the background via the internet. On my D-Star, I run, not Stargate, what is it called? FreeStar software, and it transmits the location of the transmitter via APRS, so it will show up on the map. More about that later. So, what happens when we transmit an APRS signal? We have a LAN mobile, transmit, goes to a digipeater, it's repeated again, and another digipeater repeats it to all the other stations in the Aloha circuit. Sorry, Aloha circle. And so everyone knows where everyone is for situation awareness. That's providing you have a two-way. And then finally, it goes to an iGate. So the signal can hop around. Most digipeaters put a maximum of 3 hops to get to a iGate. You don't want it traveling across North America, the signal, because it's tying up bandwidth. So, like I say, here is, so you can see the cursor of the Vancouver area. Here's using APRSdirect.com. There's my station right there with the D, Diamond D. That stands for D-Star, not digipeater. And right behind it, I have a black diamond T for transmitting iGate. So here's some iGates there with a star. This one has a 1, should be an I think, S. D for digipeater, D for digipeater. WX for weather station, that's a D-Star repeater. Now, so on. Here's a mobile, there's a school bus mobile, mobile driving. Its route in the last, what we set for 1 hour, so it's traveling around the highway there. So here's an example of the local map. So all that information is collected via an iGate, and where does the information go to, the data? This is one of the local servers called T2BC. It is transmitted here, and this is the load on it, how many bytes per second it is receiving, TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. So there's error correction built in. And the time, date, so on. Right now it's got 75 clients sending information to this server. And this is the date that this was captured, on January the 2nd. And it collects all this information, and what does it do to it? It sends it up to the next station in the hub. Can we see it here? No. Oh, sure. On this one at the very top here, it is sending it to T2 hub number 5. So these are all the clients. Remember I said there was 75 clients simultaneously hooked up? Now, I guess, can I move it over? No, we can't. Go back there. Can't move it over, so you're missing some of it. Can we move the screen over? Yes, we can move the screen over like that. There we are. So you can see it better. So these are some of the stations there. Here's one. I don't know, they got a program wrong. There should only be one number in a Canadian amateur call sign, unless it's a special one. So this guy's got a program wrong. VE7RZ7. But anyways, this is the IP address where it's coming from. He's been verified, and that's how long he's been sending information. And that's when the last update, and that's the software they're using. How many packets transmitted, how many packets received, so on. And these are the filters you can put on. So this here, M150, means they only want to receive packets within 150 miles. Anything further in distance, 150 miles, is rejected. So, where does that all information going? Remember I said before, it goes to T25 Hub 5. There's Hub 5 down there, so there's T2BC. So all these other servers, called leaf servers, are sending to the to these hubs, and they're filtering it out just in case there's a duplicate packet within two servers in the same area, but out of reach of each other. So they'll filter out one more time. So these are the hubs, and they send it to these big core servers around the world. I don't know, there's space around the world, so if any one goes out, the other ones will take over the load. So this is all happening in real time. This takes about maybe 2 seconds, 1 second to 2 seconds for the packet to be transmitted, go through the internet, through all these servers. They'll be processed and displayed on a map. Of course, these signals are transferring at almost at the speed of light, not quite, because the servers slow things down on the router, so close to the speed of light. So T2 hub, if I move the screen up a bit, you can see has 90 clients, and altogether, all these other worldwide servers, 7 servers, 195 clients. So that means simultaneously right now, is that 901 people sending, or leaf servers? I'm not sure about that. So how is the data displayed? As previously, we're using APRS Direct to display it on the internet. Oh, you can use APRS. There's some in my cell phone. I use APRS Track app. So this is APRS.fi. Anyone can go on the internet and look things up. This one here, it says to display it in the last 3 hours. You can set that for 15, 1 hour. If you track in individual stations, you can set it for 1 week. Okay, we're back from the pause here. So this is somewhere in the States. Oh, Indianapolis there. So this is on the east coast of the United States, near too far from Washington. Another program called findyou.com. I believe with findyou.com you can send messages from the software program to individual stations. Yes, APRS is not used only for tracking. You can communicate with it by sending simple text messages about 20 characters in length. So here I am off of near Central America in the Pacific Ocean, crossing over to the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, I'm aboard a ship right now as we're talking. We're tied up and we should not be moving. Oh, there's an example. Oh, there's me again, going from Spain there through Gibraltar, going over to France there. Pizza, or they call it Piazza. Pisa. I don't speak Italiano so well. And then over to Rome. That's using my handheld radio here. So this is easy to take around the world. About 5 watts. And this is transmitting from the ship or so. And on the highest deck, so I can get out. Of course, I got to be picked up by coastal stations. This is my land mobile driving around on my way to Dayton back in 2015. Put on 12,000 kilometers round trip via the Alaskan Highway. So driving through. Yes, if driving around Chicago, learn from my costs, continue down at Interstate 39. I don't know, take Interstate 80. On the way back, I took Interstate 80 to head back home. But there's lots of toll booths here. I had to pick myself up in the Easy Pass, to, electronic transponder, charge it to my credit card. Lots of tolls here. And even going across the Ambassador Bridge. And over here in Pennsylvania, tolls. So, yeah. Had to pay for driving. That's why gas is so cheap in the States. You pay tolls. So here are the software you need if you want to get on APRS and transmit information. There's APRS DOS for DOS, Windows, different programs. On the Raspberry Pi, I use APRS X, I believe. I could use Zaster. There's different programs. To get more information on the APRS, go to Bob, since he's the one that invented this, his website. He also has the website of APRS.org. Also, go to Tapper, and there's mine, va7ref.info. So this is where you can get hardware. Maybe Cantronics is no longer with us. I have a Cantronics TMC, but I don't know. Plug doesn't work. I got to convert it to UPS. So these are the different Tigertronics. That's where I think I got my what is it called? My Tracker 3 in my truck. Oh, these are the software. I will make in forgot it right now. Oh, come on. I'm losing my mind here. I'll make a file, a PDF file is what I meant to say about this presentation. So you can download it later on. So that's where you get some software. You want to go for more places. So I'd like to give credit to Bob, WB4APR, and John, November 5, Oscar Mike. for use of their slides. So if you're at the Langley Amateur Radio Association meeting, I would be answering questions right now on this. This concludes my presentation on APRS in the Vancouver area, 73, and I am VE7LEE or VE7LE.